We're live.
I see a username for...
Hello, everybody. We're live.
So I guess I'm DT then, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Hangout. On the show, obviously, we've got, if you don't know, Joakim, who we've done a Hangout beforehand. Hi, Joakim.
Hello, everyone.
And we've got James and Dean. James.
Hello.
Yep. And obviously myself, I'm Eli from Talking Comics, if you didn't know me before. I haven't done shows for a while, but we are a bunch of comic book collectors who have a joint love for graphic novels, and we're going to be discussing topics along the graphic novel front, including what we have seen on a group that we all work together on, I suppose, to trade and help each other's collections grow, which was actually set up by Riley Mo. If you want to check out his account, he's got a great channel where he talks about omnibuses and I think his read on X-Men. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My first topic of conversation for the group is a recent website, Bleeding Cool, released some information about out-of-print trades and the cost of these trades that are becoming astronomical. One of the trades that has really taken grasp is this graphic novels, is the Daredevil Companion. Actually, I showed it with Joakim in the last conversation, up for about between $1,000, around £700, which is crazy. I mean, what do you think about this, guys? The Amazon prices?
Very unrealistic in my view. Definitely. People
It's not really worth it if you're.
Yeah.
It's not worth it if you're not going to get the variant of it, because the normal version is actually kind of ugly, because it's that black and red one where it's striped and like diagonally and things like that. But the variant actually just looks like a normal omnibus, so I could see that being, well, more worth it, but not worth what, $7 or whatever.
So for you, James, you'd like them to match up with the other omnibuses? You want them to look as if they're one and the same?
Yeah, well, they should match. They're omnibuses.
Yeah, see, for me, I actually like the difference. I kind of feel like those two are really, really special omnibuses because they've been printed differently. They have a different look to them, totally different look.
No.
Not for you. Okay, well, it just shows you each to their own. Those omnibuses, I don't know, have you ever had them? You ever looked at them properly? Because they're the actual print is engraved into the book, so it's quite amazing. And also the covers, these like slip cases that they have. Well, they're not slip cases. The little covers that they put around the book, they're actually half covers, and I don't think anyone have ever done that before.
No, I've seen them in Forbidden Planet in Covent Garden, but it's the fact they don't match just turns me off.
Right, fair enough. Just shows you, also the versatility, the people that are on that group and what they feel they want for their collection to meet their OCD requirements is quite different, isn't it?
I owned the Frank Miller Daredevil omnibus, but I got the variant one, obviously, because it matches.
Is that the one with the normal cover on it? It's got
it's the Daredevil Elektra versus Bullseye cover, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. And how much did that set you back?
75 quid cover price.
Oh right,
No.
Did you buy it at the time of release? Was it?
No, I got it on eBay.
Oh right, I see. Okay, was it? It's a first edition then, because they didn't re-release. They didn't re-release it with a normal cover. The second edition is only the black-red one. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That's the one I've got.
And Dean? What do you think about it?
I personally, if it doesn't match, that's fine. But I just like what it is. I was glad to finally have it because it was out of print for a long time, wasn't it? Just the normal Daredevil one.
That book had gone to
I was just
£150.
glad to have it, to be honest.
Joakim, are you planning on buying the Red Black Daredevil book?
No, I'm not right now. I mean, if there's one omnibus of Daredevil that I would want, it's the Brian Michael Bendis ones, volumes 1 and 2. And yeah, that's just because I read the first 9 paperbacks that makes up the Bendis series, and I loved it. And I made the move to resell them, to upgrade them at least to a bigger kind of edition. But the oversized hardcover deluxe size would cost even more. I think there's 6 of them making up the Bendis run, and 2 for the Omnibus, and there's 3 for the Ultimate Collection, and that's paperback. And I think I'm really gonna sell for that, because Daredevil isn't something that I've invested too much of my time in reading, and it's just nicer. It's a quick escape for the hunting for the Omnibus when it comes to Daredevil, because I think the 3 great eras that people are talking about when it comes to Daredevil is the Frank Miller one, the Bendis era, and Brubaker, yeah, exactly.
The ones that I really, really want to hunt down, Volume 1 and 2 of the Brubaker ones. I've got the Bendis ones. It's the Brubaker Volume 1 and 2 that I'm really after, which are highly priced, aren't they?
Can I come back to that in 1 second? I just want to go back to the Brian Michael Bendis one, because the problem with having the omnibuses, and I've got a reasonable collection, and a lot of people ask me why didn't I get the Brian Michael Bendis omnibuses, and the reason I didn't get them and I got the oversized hardcovers instead is because you can't deal with Kevin Smith's run. I don't know if you know, but Kevin Smith's book is Volume 1 of the 6-book collection. And so what ends up happening is people end up buying the 2 omnibuses and then the first hardcover of the Kevin Smith. It's got Mac in there as well, I think. And so they get stuck with the 2 omnibuses and the first volume, where you could just have the 6 volumes and they'd all match, apart from Volume 2, where they decided to write the word Daredevil in the wrong size and decided that they were going to make the book on the inside red instead of black, which sets everyone's OCD ready to go ballistic.
You can't win either way then.
Times in people's collections where they've had it, and they've had the omnibuses at the start of Volume 1 of the oversized hardcovers.
Yeah, I can't cope with that. That just drives me nuts. And I know that James, you were saying that you don't even like the omnibuses if they're not matching. So how would you feel about that?
I'd prefer to get the omnibuses of Brubaker and Bendis, and then I've got the Kevin Smith run in trade probably.
So you don't rate the run from Kevin Smith?
I haven't read it. I haven't heard the greatest things about it.
Right.
I've heard nothing but acclaim for Bendis and acclaim for Brubaker, and a lot of people coming up saying that Mark Waid's run is really brilliant.
It really is good. Mark Waid's run.
But whenever I hear about Kevin Smith's run, it's very polarizing. And I don't know. I'd rather check out the other runs first.
And so it's just a matter of time before you get them, but you're happy to get that Volume 1, and then the 2 omnibuses.
Well, if I ever got, I don't know. I think Bendis and Brubaker, from what I've read, are very much worth buying an oversized hardcover. But I'd probably have to buy Kevin Smith's run in trade, and then if I liked it, I'd then get the oversized hardcover for the number 1.
Right. We can move on to the Brubaker ones, because that Volume 1 and 2, especially Volume 1. Volume 2 seems to be cheaper. I don't know why. You'd think it would be the other way around. But Volume 1 is running at about $250, somewhere around £175 at the moment. Some people are paying upwards of that. Have any of you managed to try and get a copy at all?
I've been trying to hunt one down on eBay for quite a long time, and I was at the point where I had made a price with a buyer, and then he pulled out last minute, saying that he changed his mind, and that was it, you see. So, but other than that, all the ones that I have seen have been highly, highly priced.
Did you see recently, actually, someone posted an image of a book that they bought on eBay? I think it was Walt Simonson's Thor, and can you imagine, he spent all that time trying to track that book down, and the book was badly damaged. Oh my God, that poor guy. Can you imagine? And then, it's not easy to get these books. I don't think people understand, who aren't comic book collectors and or social comic book collectors, how hard people are working to try and find copies and track down some of these books. And the white whales that seem to turn up on that group just are on repeat. Especially, for example, Punisher by Garth Ennis has to be just like on everyone's wish list. You've got Inferno, which isn't even that good a story, and that just seems to be on everyone's wish list. Have you got a white whale? And I'd love to hear about Joakim's attempt to get his white whale, which he's sitting with the Spider-Man book.
Yeah, I think I was one of the first posted on Riley's website, actually, and that was the Infinite Crisis Omnibus. That's one of my great big whales. And the other one was the Spider-Man Civil War hardcover, and both of them highly priced, as you can tell by that list. I don't even think Infinite Crisis made that list actually, but when it comes to Civil War, I finally got it,
Huh.
but I still have both my kidneys, thank God. But yeah, I got it for a cheap price, or cheap-ish when it comes to the price that you see on eBay right now. What I see right now on eBay are double the money that I had to pay for it. I don't want to say what I paid for this. Shouldn't have to. But I think I was striked out lucky that it also was in Europe, so the shipping price was kind of neat. Because that's also something we have to deal with living in Europe. Most of the stuff comes from either America or Canada.
Right, and that's another thing for us European guys. I mean, look, you know, we've got 3 Brits and a Swede, but bottom line is that it's going to cost us more to make our collections than it is the Americans, because we're having to ship everything across, and so every time we want something, we're paying that much more. And a lot of the time, it's almost pounds for dollars when we look online on what we're having to spend. So that makes it even harder for the Brits. And you hear the Americans complaining, and my heart doesn't even bleed slightly for them when I have to spend £30 just shipping the damn book over. I don't know if you've ever experienced that.
I think the furthest I've shipped a book from is when I got my X-Men Age of Apocalypse Omnibus. It came from Germany.
Oh, right.
That's I've never had one from America, but the furthest is that from Germany.
How much did it cost you to ship?
I think it was about £18, something like that.
How much was the book worth?
It's the most pricey book I've ever bought, and it was 160.
Whoa, what was it?
Pounds, I think. Age of Apocalypse.
Oh,
That's the most expensive book I've bought.
Oh, do you know what? Age of Apocalypse. So I bought it on release, and that book has just skyrocketed in value. And it came out, I think, just before the movie, you know, the X-Men movie, and since we found out that the X-Men movie is going to be about Age of Apocalypse, the price just skyrocketed.
Yeah. You see some mad prices now, especially on Amazon, what people are asking for them. Whether people pay that, I don't know, but...
Yeah, and imagine when Captain America Civil War comes out, that Spider-Man will probably... Either way, they'll have to reprint it in some form, or the price will skyrocket for some more time.
The only thing about Age of Apocalypse, the Omnibus, is that they actually put it to clearance. So a lot of Americans got it for, I think, $20 to $30, and now it's obviously crazy money.
I was going to say, James, do you have a copy of Inferno?
No, I don't.
Is that one of your white whales? Because I know you're an X-Men fan.
I'd buy it if it was a decent enough price, but it's not I wouldn't pay crazy money for it. No. Chris, who didn't show up, he's been hunting for X-Men Inferno for, I think, about a year.
Wow.
And I think he ended up paying the high prices for it.
Like, what are we talking about?
I have no idea. All I know is apparently it's quite an offensive price tag.
I know I paid over £100 for that book, and it's one of the few books that I've gone over my £100 limit. Like, I refuse to really spend more than £100. I'd normally just keep searching, but that book was just so hard to get hold of. And as soon as it came onto eBay, it was getting racked up in the price. I mean, the prices were racking up to, you know, crazy money. I saw one go for £250, and I'm never going to pay that. And the same things for Punisher. And I think that we need to, you know, I think that's the whole point of this group that Riley created, was to make a stand against these prices. But as soon as this group was made, there were a lot of people saying, you know, but it's this price because of the demand. So does that mean that the value of the books are the value that the demand requires? And why would I then trade it with you for, you know, under the value? What do you guys think?
I think it depends how much you paid for it, to be honest. And if you don't mind taking a hit on it, if you weren't that bothered by it, because a lot of people have been selling Annihilation Conquest, because obviously everyone thinks it's gone out of print so quickly, and everyone's got it and just thought, yeah, do you want it?
It's freely available here, isn't it? On Amazon and stuff like that. It's still in stock here.
Yeah, we still got it in stock. I think we had a.
It's going out of print, because it was 60 something the other day, and now it's gone up to 70 odd, which means that stock's going down quite quickly.
I think you can still get it on Speedy Hen for like £50, to be honest.
It's out of stock there now, yeah. I've tried to get it from there.
Oh, right.
I tried to get it from Wordery, and they cancelled it. Rakuten, they cancelled it, and Speedy Hen, they cancelled it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I got mine from Speedy Hen, and unfortunately, there's a small blemish on the top. It's had a knock on the top of the book. Not a happy bunny. Sent them a classic email. One of those. Dear sir, why did you fuck up the order? I hate you. Please replace it. I know you can't because you haven't got any more stock. Thanks for my broken book.
I've had so many problems with Speedy Hen with damaged books.
If you're nicer to them, I think they refund part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm trolling. I'm trolling. It did come damaged, but it's really just a small knock, and I've just complained a little bit. I don't think that they're terrible. They just don't appreciate that we're collectors and that we need the book in good condition, or it devalues the book. And I'm not saying that the money's everything. For me, it's more about the story. But if you're going to have it and you're going to have a collection, then you want to keep it in pristine condition, and you want to look after the books that you've got. So if they then send it to you and it's damaged, then you've already got a damaged book before you've even got there. So that's not great, is it?
No.
Absolutely not.
Can I just moving on? I just want to ask another question to the group. One of the things that's been turning up also on the group is a lot of exchanges that are taking place. Would anyone swap this book for me for that book, or I've got these white whales. Now the thing is with this, and I'm totally in support of people trying to help each other pass white whales across so that they can get the book that they want. But it seems to be the case that all we're seeing is a rack of the same books and no one has them, and everyone's like throwing up the same books. And it just kind of exasperates the situation that everybody's looking for the same books. Whereas the solutions to this problem is like, where are these books? And no one has any answers. So in the meanwhile, all that's happening is we're just getting the same messages again and again. Do you have Punisher Omnibus? Do you have, Punisher Max Volume 4? I mean, we do see the odd couple here and there, but what they're asking for is probably another white whale that no one has.
Someone put Inferno on there for cover price, didn't they? I saw that because I was going to jump at it, and obviously by the time I clicked on it, there's 200 people trying to get it.
Yeah, that's right. It came from a guy in South America, I think. I might be wrong, but I think he was in South America.
What I actually think is the better part of the group is the system you have with going to your closest comic shop and take photos of the comic book shelves to see what people are looking for. That's the solution to find those books. If it's not in our own shelves, it's probably out there.
That only benefits the Americans, though.
I'm from Sweden, and I have a comic shop just 4 miles from my place, and I uploaded some photos just a few days ago, and already I have 2 or 3 people interested in stuff that I have here.
Yeah, he's helping me out, actually, to be fair. One of the books that I'm trying to get hold of is, I've got 3 white whales. In fact, my collection is pretty much finished, apart from the new stuff that comes out, apart from for 3 books. The first book is the Thor original book, Volume 1, which I can't seem to find for love nor money, with the Journey into Mystery cover. The second book I'm looking for is the Iron Man Volume 1, again, any variant covers or the original cover. And the third book was this Elektra with the red-white variant of the book, which Joakim found in his comic book shop. And I think that is a much better solution. Someone went to Reed in the UK and took pictures, and me and my friend are like heading up into Reed to go and have a look because they had some interesting stuff in those pictures. Joakim took some pictures from his comic book shop. The people that have actually taken pictures at the local comic book shop, whether they're UK or US, I think is been really helpful. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's helpful. I just think it helps if there's people who keep finding crazily obscure books in their local comic shops, But it seems that the smaller the towns, the more remote places that they are, especially in the States, is where people find a lot of their white whales, because obviously people don't know that these are incredibly rare books, whereas a lot of the places in the UK are very up to speed on what's rare and what's not.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot harder for us to find things here than it is for them.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to a lot of those comic book shops, the trifecta, as I call them, in London, which is Forbidden Planet, Orbital, and Gosh, and they all know. They know if they find something that's out of print, the price skyrockets, and you know, they know. And if you head out further into no man's land for the comic books, I very much doubt in the UK you're going to find something that's out of print that's not been hiked on the price. But US is a different story because you've got a lot more comic book shops, right?
Yeah.
So what are your white whales at the moment, guys? I've mentioned some of mine. What are you guys?
I have 3 white whales. It's The Punisher, and it's Immortal Iron Man by Brubaker and Fraction, and Teen
You mean Iron Fist?
Sorry, Iron Fist, sorry, yeah. What did I say?
Iron Man.
Iron Man, sorry. Immortal Iron Fist by Fraction Brubaker, and it's New Teen Titans Volume 1.
By Jeff Johns?
No, by...
Oh, the Perez. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, they're my 3 biggest, especially Immortal Iron Fist is the one I'm really after.
I think that Volume 1 is very hard to get hold of, whereas Volume 2 is going for eBay at the moment for about £60. I've seen one, I think, and Volume 3 is still almost in print. You can almost still get that.
Number 1 goes for really sky-high prices, from what I've seen, definitely.
Is it a good run?
Yeah. I've only read bits, but from what I've read, it's been really good. But I've just finished Jeff Johns' Teen Titans Omnibus, and I really, really liked it. It was really good.
Yeah. What about you, James?
I've got a few, but I wouldn't call them white whales. They're just books that if they popped up, I'd buy them. The only one I actively search for is the Daredevil Companion Omnibus variant cover. The other ones I would buy if they pop up is basically The Eternals by Jack Kirby and the Silver Surfer Omnibus.
You know that's a shame because I had that companion variant cover about 3 weeks ago. I wish I would have been able to help you out, but unfortunately it's sold on Amazon. So apologies, but I did have it. It was a really nice cover actually. I remember it had the I think it had the what was it from? I think it was the Born Again cover. I think it was on a Born Again comic maybe.
I'm not sure what the cover's from.
Yeah.
All I know is it's blue and it's just got Kingpin's big ass face in the background.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I bought that omnibus, but mistakenly because I wanted the companion, the black red one, and I got that one sent to me instead, which I wasn't very happy about. But it was one of those eBay no returns things, so I just gritted my teeth, thought I'd get my money back on it, which I did. I got more than my money back on it, and then ended up getting the correct companion at a later date. What about you, Joakim? What are your white whales still going?
Not much whales right now. I kind of got all the hard stuff that I want, but mostly Spider-Man books, pretty much all. The Marvel Knights Spider-Man by Mark Miller, hardcover, and Untold Tales Spider-Man Omnibus. Those are not really, they're out there, but they're kind of high price. So I hope to find them at Comic-Con this year. Then there's Spider-Man Reign and just some bits and pieces of Marvel Premiere hardcovers that I want from Spidey.
Right.
And the hardest stuff to find and for the hell of a price is the complete Ben Reilly saga and complete Clone Saga. People are also posting what they want reprinted in omnibus form, and that would probably be what I want to have. The Clone Saga and Ben Reilly saga in omnibus form.
Are there any books that you searched for that you were just like, this book's going to my grave? Like, I've done everything I can to get hold of this book, and I finally got it, and I'm never going to release it. It's not coming out of my cold, dead hands. Dean?
Age of Apocalypse. Yeah, I'm probably the first one.
At the £160 later.
It's that and the Death of Cat omnibuses that are the most I've ever paid for, which were over 100. So. Did
you put a picture up of your collection on the group? Because I don't remember seeing it.
I haven't. No, it's in I've not done it yet. No.
Ah, see, we're waiting for that. We're waiting for it.
I'll put it up.
Yeah. What about you, James? What's the that's not coming out of my cold dead hands?
Probably my Daredevil variant omnibus and Age of Apocalypse.
How did you get hold of
money
your
for
Age of
that.
Apocalypse? How did you get hold of your Age of Apocalypse book?
I got it from cheapcomics.com.
Wait, is that an American website or is it a British website?
It's Dutch, I think.
Oh, right. So what was the shipping cost?
€15.
Oh, so nothing really.
No, they're really good. They have lots of sales and things, so a lot of my rare trades come from them.
That's a nice little tip. That's a nice little tip if you're watching. What's the name of the website? Cheap Comics.
Cheap-comics.com.
Nice. Thank you very much. That's a good little tip. Joakim, what about yours?
Probably the Civil War Spider-Man. Probably. Or the upcoming omnibus that I'm still waiting for to arrive. The Infinite Crisis omnibus.
You blew like a month's money on this one book, didn't you?
Yeah, but now I can rest assured that I have the book and don't really need to go out hunting on eBay anymore for anything else because
it sounds like Joakim, you're saying I can finally rest in peace. I have achieved my life goal. I have the Infinite Crisis omnibus. I may pass.
Life goal, you're reaching way too far. but yeah, I'm glad that I have the book and all those other books that I told you about. I mean, those are fairly much easier to find, and the Infinite Crisis was definitely the biggest whale to get.
Right.
And I caught it with a hell of a net.
Okay, and if there was one story, guys, that you would recommend to people to get hold of in a particular edition, whether it's in omnibus format or hardcover, that they wouldn't expect, what would it be? Starting with D.
Off the top of my head, Planetary Omnibus, definitely. That's just off the top of my head, straight away.
Are you a Warren Ellis fan?
Yeah, definitely. But I haven't read Transmetropolitan yet.
I was just about, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say,
you read Transmet. I'm going to get the Absolute Edition, which has just come out, I think, this week on Speedy Hen, so I will be reading it, definitely.
Okay, great. And what about you? What about you, James?
Which one would I recommend?
Yeah, a recommended book in a particular format that people wouldn't otherwise consider.
Format-wise, I don't really have a preference over which because they're all very different. But in terms of a story, I'd say they all come from Image. So you'd have to say Sex Criminals or Saga.
Yeah.
What do you think about Sex Criminals?
I think it's brilliant.
Is it just the oddity of the book, or?
No, it's really well written. And obviously, you look at a book and think, well, it's obviously a very graphic and sexual book, but it deals with a lot of different emotional issues and has a very fun, tongue-in-cheek story, and it just deals with things very well. It has really nice art in it, and I think it's everything that you really want in a good, fun story. And then obviously, Saga is its own thing entirely.
What's interesting is that's Matt Fraction, isn't it, that wrote Sex Criminals? And Matt Fraction, I feel, has always been better at writing, and this is just my opinion, but the close scenes, the street crime stuff, or the intimate moments, or things that feel a bit more real life, real day kind of situations. Whereas he wrote Thor, and it was bad. It was laughably bad. I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's almost as if he's talking and not the characters.
I've heard things, but I've not read it, but I've heard it's quite obscure.
Yeah, but look, he's done a great job. I'm a massive fan of his Iron Fist run, and I know you're looking, Dean, for the Immortal Iron Fist. I can tell you, I have that omnibus, and it is one of my favourites. With
Aja, is it? Do you say Aja?
Yeah, Aja. I call him Aja. Is that wrong? Aja, Aja.
I think when we met him and went to Leeds, I think it was like not last year before.
Is this Thought Bubble? Thought Bubble?
Thought Bubble, yeah. I think people were saying generally that it was Aja, maybe. I don't know.
Aja. I trust you if you tell me. I haven't had an opportunity to interview him, so I've got no idea how you pronounce his name. Normally they go, no, that's not my name. That's not how you say it. So.
My mate who came with me to the con pretty much queued up all weekend just to get a sketch from him. So. Yeah.
His artwork is amazing.
Yeah.
But I think James is right when he talks about sex criminals. That's a great book. What about Saga? Let's have a conversation about Saga. I think that I can go on record as saying I'm not a massive Saga fan. I can
Really?
yeah. Yeah, I can go on record as saying that. Yeah, I think if people are on the forum, they may have got my opinions about Saga available to read there. But tell me why you like it.
Okay.
I think it's.
Hey,
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, James, and then Joakim. Go on, James.
Okay. I just think it's zany and it's fun and it deals with a lot of different things that comics normally don't shy away from. Because comics usually shy away from, specifically the realities of parenthood, for one. I mean, anyone who remembers, you remember the first page of Volume 1. And I just think it's very different. And as far as space operas go, it's very zany and very weird, but it's very fun and very funny.
And actually, you're in the majority. A lot of people really love that book. It had quite a buzz around it as it came out, and it's still got a lot of that buzz, although it seems to be coming off recently. I'm getting a lot more people commenting about the current books not being as enjoyable as the old ones.
I think it might be spinning its wheels a bit.
Yeah.
Due to people loving it so much, but I can't remember if he's ever said he has a plan for it or not. It's probably it would have a much better reputation if he had a plan and ended it within a certain time frame, like Sandman or something. That's a weird comparison.
So if I've got 6 volumes left, I'm doing 6 volumes and that's it. Is that what you'd like to hear?
Yeah, I think things are a lot better when they have a specific beginning and end, because otherwise you just get the middle bit that's very pulpy and very dull. I think most of my favourite books are the ones that have had beginnings and ends. Ones that where someone said, "Well, it's going to end in so and so." Like Alex and Ada, that's got a definite end coming, I think, and that's a very amazing book by Image.
Right. And what do you think, Joakim? Tell me.
Yeah, the reason why I started reading Saga for the first thing is because I was a big fan of Why the Last Man, and Saga actually takes a lot of stuff from, or not takes a lot of stuff from, when it comes to Brian K. Vaughan's writing, I guess, because Why the Last Man and Saga is the only thing that I've read from him, as far as I know, and that is the shock value that he gives to, at least each and every issue has one page or one panel. It's just there to shock you, and that's what makes you laugh or make you think the special thing about this book. And also the relationship, of course, between the characters. It's clearly a simplistic tale. It's Romeo and Juliet mixed in with Star Wars, I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's simplistic, but it's fun for me. I like the dialogue and everything and what they do with the character's journey. The first issue in each story arc, as I can tell, it sets up the next 6 issues of the series, and I've only read up to issue 24, so that is trade volume number 4, and that one really shocked me, the ending of the first issue in that trade, and that's what's keep you want to go. If you just read that first issue, I think you'll want to read the next story arc. Okay.
I suppose I can't allow you guys to all spell your love out for the book without me putting my alternate view to the situation. I'm a big Brian K. Vaughan fan. I love Why the Last Man, and I liked some of his other work as well. In Runaways, I was a big Runaways fan as well. The thing is with Saga is I feel that the book goes nowhere in storyline. I think that the storyline could be concentrated down into 3 pages. And I think it feels like it's unnaturally elongated by oddities like people with television heads or naked spider assassins with breasts all over the place. It doesn't mean anything, and a lot of the oddities are there for shock value, in my opinion, more than they are for storyline value. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but then you need to take it for what it is. And realize that, yeah, okay, this book is going to be a story of two people falling in love on the opposite sides of the fence, the metaphorical fence, who are just running away somewhere, and it just doesn't seem to go any further than that. In fact, I've read the first 4 or 5 volumes, and they just keep running away, and there's very, very little else that I mean, now that I've explained that to people, there's very little else to add to the situation. Obviously, you guys don't feel that way, and that's fine. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I could enjoy it like you guys do. But you're welcome to come back on that opinion as much, with whatever your thoughts are.
So, but everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So.
Yeah, sure. But so look, it's interesting. It's an interesting book. I managed to get my hardcover that was signed. Just because perchance he was at a con that I was at, so that was very nice. And he's a really nice guy, and I'd love to support him anyway. But talking about writers, who is your favourite writer at the moment? Because for me, my favourite writer is Jeff Lemire. Jeff Lemire, however you want to pronounce it.
Bloodshot's been brilliant, definitely.
Yeah, I think that guy right now is on fire. He can't do anything wrong. I haven't actually read anything bad by him yet. I mean, I wish I could emulate his ability to come up with such brilliant ideas. He's got his own art style, not the best, but it doesn't matter because I think that his storytelling kind of overtakes everything anyway, and really has done some fantastic work. Dean?
Yeah, I've not read much by him. I've read obviously his new Bloodshot. I think other than that, I've not really read anything from him.
Have you tried Sweet Tooth or no?
No. He was at Thought Bubble last year.
Yeah.
But no, I've not read anything.
And Animal Man?
No.
You should check them out. They're really good. James?
I don't really have a favourite writer at the moment.
No. What about? I know you're a big X-Men fan. No Chris Claremont love?
No, not really.
Joss Whedon on Astonishing X-Men? No.
I like Joss Whedon, but I think once you've read one Joss Whedon story, they're kind of very easy to predict. Is why they've had the phrase Whedon-esque.
Ooh, interesting.
So everyone's like more quippy and sassy than they would ever be in an actual story. So. But no, I enjoyed his run, but I wouldn't put it up there as one of my favourites.
So what is one of your favourites? What's one of your favourite runs that's got?
Well, one I'm really enjoying at the moment is Bendis, which is very unpopular because everyone hates what Bendis is doing. But I really like the all-new X-Men story element that they've introduced and are playing with.
What, do you feel like in general people don't like it? Because I'm quite a big fan of that X-Men.
People hate it.
Really? I haven't. Do you know what? I haven't really discussed it with people. I just assumed people would like it. Well, that's obviously wrong.
All I hear on forums is that people absolutely loathe it.
And what's the reasons that you've read? What kind of things are they upset?
They say that it's Cyclops driven. That it's completely. I'm talking about Uncanny rather than all new X-Men.
Right.
Saying that it's Cyclops driven. That a lot of it's out of character. That several characters are being minimized. That nothing happens. You know, they're very much the tar and feathering.
When you say minimized, do you mean marginalized, as in like they're not featuring in the story heavily? Oh, right, okay.
So that's sort of what their general opinion is, and it's very hated. There was a massive chorus of joy when people said, when Bendis said, "Oh, I'm leaving and I'm not doing X-Men anymore."
Yeah, okay. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but I didn't hear that, and I just obviously kept my eye off the ball for a little bit, but I did not know that. That's interesting. Joakim, what's your favourite?
My favourite writer must be Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison, oh, classic love for Grant Morrison. Okay, and what's the reason? What books have really turned you onto him? If you didn't see that because the camera was focusing on me, he pulled up his Batman T-shirt.
Yeah, the Batman stuff is what really pulled me into Grant Morrison and made me want to try other stuff. By watching Talking with Gods documentary with him, and also reading his own biography / documentary Super Gods, really turned me into reading his Animal Man run, which was really great. I think I read the whole run in just 2 days, and that's 26-something issues. And also wanting to try out something really different in the Invisibles deluxe hardcovers.
See, I find him very hit and miss. I like his Batman run, and you know, there's bits and bobs that I've liked from him, especially the smaller stuff like We Three. But I find things like The Filth and Invisibles above my head, and maybe this kind of sets the scene for my feelings towards Saga as well. I don't get books like The Filth. I don't understand why he's writing a book where people need to wear a wig to stop like mental intrusion, or where he's got these, you know, the Invisibles is like a group of people that all have some weird oddities about them that come together to make no sense whatsoever, and he doesn't want them to, or he wants them to, but that only he will ever understand the real meaning behind any of it. And his Animal Man run I loved until he decided to put himself in the book. Animal Man, I don't know if I've spoiled that, but God, it's an old book now, so I'm sorry if, you know, it didn't put a spoiler warning. But like Animal Man turns up to Grant Morrison's house. I mean, have you seen that? Have any of you read that?
Yes.
I don't know.
What did you think about that, Joakim? Because you've read it.
Yeah, what I've heard after reading the Man book is that he loves to put himself into his own books. Surprisingly, he didn't put himself in Batman, but I guess DC wouldn't allow him. So, but
is that a disappointment? I hear. I mean, would you like him to be, you know, like walking around?
Technically, he's established himself in the DCU. Technically, in one of the universes, since he met up with Buddy Baker. I mean, at the time, at some point, I didn't realize that Vertigo was also the same universe as DC, at least for some of the characters, not all of the characters. I mean, the Invisibles is published by Vertigo, but it's not the same universe that Superman and Batman is in, but Animal Man is. And, of course, now they've taken them into the regular DC universe.
Dean, sorry, Joakim. I just wanted to know, Dean, would you like to see writers appear in their own comics more often?
Yeah, definitely. If it's the appropriate scene, maybe. I know that Snyder made an appearance and Capullo made an appearance in one of Lemire's books. I can't remember what it was though. In Manhattan Projects. Yeah, Snyder and Greg Capullo in Manhattan Project.
I did not know that. That's another interesting one. What, for Image, yeah? In Manhattan. But that's Hickman's book, isn't it?
Yeah, Jonathan Hickman book.
Yeah? Okay. Jace?
I haven't really seen it happen that much. I've only seen it happen in Sex Criminals. But I don't really know if that counts, because I know Matt Fraction used his own likeness, but I don't think he's actually meant to be Matt Fraction.
Yeah, I don't think that one counts, because it's not actually meant to be him. It's just looks like him, which is fine. But what if it was him? What happens if the end at Sex Criminals you find out that it's Matt Fraction who's jumping in time and that the woman is his wife or something, a girlfriend, or would that piss you off? I mean, would you be upset by that?
I think the time travel would piss me off more than anything else. But no, I'd be fine with it. I think it's Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, which has a lot of the writers written into it, and I think Deadpool murders them all.
Yeah, that's right. If you haven't
read it, but I think that's how it happens.
For those people that haven't read that book, it specifically breaks the third wall on purpose, where he turns up to the writers' room and he murks them all. I use the word murk because it matches him. He decides to kill them all, which is it's comedic. It has comedic value to it, doesn't it? Which is the point. Okay. Last question, guys, before we call it an evening. Last question. A lot of people are talking about what they'd like to see be released in the omnibus format on the group. They're going on about, you know, what they'd either like to see reprinted or come out. And I'm asking you not for reprints. I think we all know some of the white whales we'd like to see reprinted. But what books would you like to see printed for the first time, Dean?
Mark Waid's Daredevil.
As an omnibus?
As an omnibus, yeah.
Right.
I've got the whole other side hardcovers, but I would like to see an omnibus, definitely.
And there's no reason why they can't do that, because Hawkeye right now is being put into an omnibus. I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah.
But if they can do it for Hawkeye, and it's come out as an oversized hardcover, then there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't be done for Mark Waid's Daredevil, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's very reasonable. What about you, James?
Well, I second Mark Waid Daredevil, but I'd really like to see them just continue with some of the ones they've already got. Like Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 would be nice. The other Claremont X-Men Omnibus Volume 3 would be nice. Right. Even continuing like the Astonishing X-Men as omnibuses would be nice, or a second New Avengers omnibus. I wish they'd continue some of the ones they've already made rather than just saying, here's a new franchise, or like the second Iron Fist as an omnibus.
They've got to be financially viable. It has to be financially viable, so.
Well, they seem to just pick it at random, because I think there's the Onslaught saga is coming out as an omnibus, and everyone, not many people seem to like that book. It's rather unpopular, but it's still coming out, and they release loads of trades for it as well.
I think that book's going to sell. I don't think Onslaught was terrible. It was a '90s book. A lot, in context, people hated it at the time, and I think we still got some of those residual feelings, kind of like the Clone Saga. I could see the Clone Saga coming out as a set of omnibuses.
I think anything with X-Men on it generally sells. The only X-Men book I've heard that doesn't sell well is the '90s X-Force book.
Yeah,
because I keep seeing that going around for pennies and no one wants it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is true. Joakim, what would you like to see in an omnibus format?
First of all, a second with James on the New Avengers Omnibus Volume 2. That would be really nice.
Oh, Joakim, you just stole my thunder.
And let's see, it has potential to come out a New Avengers Omnibus with 2 more movies to go. Something to boost the movie, I guess. And the 19th complete Clone Saga in Omnibus. That would be good.
Yeah, you nicked my other one as well. Cheers, Joakim. So I love you, man. I was going to agree. Basically, that was my Avengers Volume 2. I can't understand why they haven't brought Brian Michael Bendis' second volume out. It actually winds me up quite a lot. Marvel, if you're listening, what exactly are you doing, and why haven't you brought out the second omnibus? No one's mentioned an Image title, so I'm going to mention an omnibus for Image, which I'd like to see, and that is I would like to start seeing them do omnibuses with hardcovers, specifically for something that's not Walking Dead. So I've got some of the new oversized hardcover with slipcases for Walking Dead, but I really like Invincible. If you haven't read Invincible, then you guys should. I love that series. I think it's great, and I'd love to see them do an omnibus for Invincible. Like, why are we not seeing that? I don't understand. I think it's a very popular run. Robert Kirkman obviously did the writing, and he's done a great job on it, but they don't seem to be interested in going into that omnibus market yet.
They seem to be focusing more on compendiums.
Yeah.
Which, as someone who likes trade paperbacks, I think they're quite nice, because I'm reading Invincible at the moment, and it's a very chunky book.
Yeah. I think that they are, for price, they're some of the best, because what did you spend on that book?
Oh, I got it with points in the deal, so it was like 18 quid each. I got both of them.
So you got £18, and I think it's what, 50 issues or 48 issues? 1 to 48, is it?
1 to 47.
1 to 47. I'm going to show you.
50 odd issues.
Yeah. So like you're getting, think about price per issue. You're getting an unbelievable deal there. An unbelievable deal. But for those people that like me, we collect hardcovers, and we're losers that put them all on the shelf. I like it. I can't help it. I want a hardcover in it, please. I beg you. Image, start. In fact, I'm going to have a chat with Eric Stevenson, please God, soon. I get to do an interview with him, and it's something that I am going to ask him. When are we going to start seeing hardcover, compendiums, if you like? Or they did do something called a library edition.
I've got the first 2 of the Invincible ones. I'm just waiting to get the third one for a decent price.
Are those hardcovers? Are those got hardcovers?
Like a slip, very much like an Absolute edition.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds really nice. They're really nice, right?
Yeah, they're good, really nice.
A shame. Okay, so that's at least that's a good, solid attempt to collect it in something in a similar format. Yeah. Listen, guys, thank you so much for spending time talking about your collections. Hopefully, we'll get an opportunity to do this again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to spend time with this guy. Okay, and thank you guys if you're watching. I see we've got viewers, so thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all again very soon on another episode of Talking Comics. Cheers.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.